So the first question that came in said, we are seeing a marriage counselor, but our therapist wants me to move on. How can I explain to her, the therapist, that I can't move on? So this is a really common question. There's a lot of counselors and therapists out there that do not understand betrayal trauma. If you are talking to a marriage counselor and you are not talking about the trauma that has been inflicted on the betrayed partner and the trauma that the unfaithful partner is experiencing in the form of shame and guilt, then you're not going to get very far. If you've been following me, like a couple of you have, you will know that one of my taglines is marriage counseling does not work after betrayal. It really doesn't, because the focus is on the marriage. Okay. This is not a marital issue. I know a lot of people think it is, and a lot of unfaithful partners want to believe that it is, but there's stuff underneath it. There's a root cause. There's an origin story that we need to dig out. And that all happened before the marriage. So unfaithful partners who listen to me, this is usually the first time that they're hearing this. This is not about the marriage. Yes, I get it. Marriages have symptoms. No marriage is perfect, but symptoms are not the problem. The symptoms are not the disease. And marriage counseling talks about symptoms. It doesn't talk about the root cause. And it does things like what this person experienced, which is being told, you're just going to have to move on. My husband and I saw quite a few therapists. We went to two different marriage counselors, and that's what I was told as well. And I felt bad. Like I was made to be almost like to be the bad guy in the story. Like, my husband cheated on me, but he said he was sorry. He stopped acting out. And now it was my problem that I couldn't move forward. And I'm telling you, I sat in those sessions just going, I'm in the twilight zone, right? What is going on here? How did this turn into my issue, right? Well, the counselor that we had, I didn't know it at the time, but the counselor that we were seeing didn't know anything about betrayal trauma. Most counselors are not what we call trauma informed counselors, therapists, coaches, whatever. They're not trauma informed. So what happens is they end up talking about issues within the marriage rather than the trauma that each person, for very different reasons, each person is experiencing. So this person that wrote this about, how do I tell my therapist that, I can't move on? I never want to tell people to stop therapy. However, if you are being told as a betrayed partner that it's your job to move on, to forgive and forget, to get over it, to stop living in the past, that's not going to help you. That is going to keep you stuck. There is no such thing as moving on. The only thing we can do is heal from the pain and build something new. Build something new. So I really can't answer this person's question, because the only thing I would say to a therapist like that is, are you trauma informed? Have you experienced a betrayal? Have you ever gone through what I'm going through? And if the answer is no, 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 it might be time to look for a therapist that's more in line with what, with what you're going through, more aligned or in line with what you're experiencing. When people work with us, Camilla, Sarah, or I, we've all been betrayed. So we understand betrayal trauma. We understand the PTSD, the ruminating thoughts, the Hollywood movies that play in your mind for hours and hours on end, the Mack truck triggers that hit you. Those are all trauma responses. So if you're going to talk therapy, if you're going to a marriage counselor and they're not helping you understand why all of those things are happening, why are you having ruminating thoughts? Why do you feel like a Mack truck hit you every time you look at your spouse? Why are you pain shopping? Why do you keep scrolling, looking at affair partners online? See, there's reasons why betrayed partners are doing that. And if betrayed partners are talking to counselors or therapists that don't understand that and can't explain that, then they're probably going to get stuck. And that's the last thing we want, is for especially a betrayed partner to get stuck in pain. Now, for the unfaithful partners, again, it's usually the first time that they're hearing this, because society as a whole makes it seem like the betrayed partners are kind of the crazy ones. And it's like, wait a minute, I didn't cheat. I didn't have an affair. How come I'm being labeled as the crazy one? And trust me, I heard that not only from our counselor, but from my husband. My husband used to say the nastiest things to me. He would say, Beth, you're crazy. You need psychiatric help. You need medication. You're the one keeping us stuck, because he didn't know. And I didn't know back then what I know today to even argue it. I would just be a bumbling mess going, I don't want to feel this way. I don't know why I'm doing this, right? So I get it. So that's kind of my answer. If you are in therapy right now, marriage counseling or not, even if it's individual therapy, make sure you're getting trauma informed care.